Happy New Year, everyone. I'm actually filming this before Christmas, so I'm about to make the most of my well good pond guards. There we go. Oh, look at that. So I'm actually filming this Christmas Eve. Come out to the pond, I got flashing galore, and not in the good way. So just to lift a couple out. Don't like lifting koi out this time of year, but I do need to check. Temps are up at 10 degrees in the water, and they're about 12 degrees. It's not a bad day. So I'm gonna lift a couple out, get them scraped, and we'll see how we're going. They've all been up for feeding today, which is quite nice. And I am just doing a small water change as part of my filter clean. That could explain the flashing. Obviously the water's coming in at about 15.5, 16 degrees. That fluctuation could be what's causing it, but it's only on a trickle, so I can't see it. But I'm going to go for the friendliest ones, the chag, the Hiatsuri I've got to do a check-up on anyway. He's around here somewhere. A little sturgeon down there. And we'll see how we get on. Right, that's the back panel made up, so didn't have to go too thick with the timbers on this one. So this is just 45mm for 50 treated. Make sure it lasts, but this one's actually going to sit up against the brick wall. It's quite large, but I suppose go big or go home. So for this, I've just used up timber that I've got knocking around other than the 2x2 or 45x50 that's new. So pond is, so this is actually a metre, so the pond will sit here, so about 940, 950 deep. And that is panel number 1. That's only taken a few minutes, so that's good. Let's start knocking up some of the others. So there's the indoor fry. So the whole purpose of this tank, look at them. There's one bit of food in there left, but they are absolute savages. Loving life, bless them. I've had to bring it out quickly. I'm not too convinced on how high it is. So you can see, I'm not sure at the moment. It's sort of nice. If I put my arms on here, look, it's nice leaning height. Don't know if you can see it. Yeah, look, there's a shadow there. Reflection even. So you can see by my hand how high it is. The thing is, I want it to look nice. As much as I want it to be functional, I do want it to look nice. So, but at the sizes I've got it at the moment, it gives me nearly 2,000 litres, as opposed to indoors. Yeah, it gave me a lot less, and I had to feck around with the asbestos roof. But I don't know, Jeff. I don't know. Let's see how we go. Right, I'm back. So I'll put the frame back in the same place. I have to confess, I've just taken 50mm off the height. It's going to reduce the pond depth to sort of 900, 920. But it just didn't look right. Do you know what I mean? When you stand up against it, it wasn't a nice leaning height. It was I'm only 5'6", 5'7". It was, I'd have to be on my tippy toes like. Although seeing it like this, I am wondering, obviously this is the back panel, so this one goes against the wall. It gets fixed to the wall. I'm just wondering, I could get myself a little window in here. Yeah, point the finger again, that's probably a good idea. But yeah, now I can get on with making the other panels. Now I've got an idea of size. So this is a little storage area that we got indoors. So this is like an extension. The plan is one day, the entire garage I want to knock down, and at the moment it's detached from the house. What I want to do is attach it to the house, which gives me a massive workshop, and it will give me utility room, things like that. So, but until then, this don't get used no more. We bought that during lockdown when everybody was panic buying food. Given that we had a freezer, we must have panic bought as well, so apologies for that. Tumble dryer normally sits there anyway, so I'm going to move that back. So those of you remember, I used to have a little 1,000 litre fry tank in here, and because of the condensation, it was getting on my nerves. So rather than sort the condensation, I took it out. And to be fair, I built it really quickly anyway, because it was a panic for the fry. So I'd done it with a cheap liner, didn't have a very good pump on it. So what I want to do is, I shouldn't have just taken it out. I should have dealt with the issues and done it properly. What I want to do is, last time, I don't know if those of you remember, I used to have a spider farmer grow on light in here. I don't want to do that. So these last panels, they're not asbestos, I promise. They are asbestos, so they'll have to go down the end of the garden for now, until such time when they can be buried somewhere. I mean disposed of. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take either the middle one out or this end one and replace that with a clear panel. So I've got my light in here. That's got frosted glass on it, so it doesn't let in a huge amount of light. I do have a window on the door, and then I've also got my LED light anyway. So then the fry tank will sit in here. But yeah, like I say, one day the plan is from this point and then to match the extension. So the back of the house becomes a utility area, and the attached garage will go, so it makes it 6 metre wide garage then, and then it makes it, I think with the extension, it makes it about 14 metres long, so it gives me a much better man cave and utility room. So we'll get round to that, but for now I'm going to get all this rubbish out the front. This is stuff, this is from my 3 million ponds that I've built in the garden and then decided I don't want them anymore, so I'm going to get rid of that crap and give the old filters a clean, I suppose. We've got daylight. So obviously didn't want to cut any of the roof in, it's asbestos cement, so I've managed to very carefully remove a section, which is nice. It's worth saying that has been treated several times, so it is encapsulated before anyone starts moaning. But yeah, that's made a massive difference. If I switch the light off, I mean, it was dark in here before, so right where the tank will be, and the sun is quite early at the moment, so the sun is not all the way up yet. So the sun around 10, 11 o'clock is here in the winter, and then carries right over into the west for the evening. So yeah, it should be good. So what I'm doing now is put the lights back on. So this is actually probably good. So this is daylight. This is the other end of the garage. So this is what it would have been like in here, other than the little tiny frosted window. But because my orifice is the other side, obviously it wasn't letting in a lot of light. So, but yeah, what I'm doing in here is got my polycarbonate from my old covers. They are the gift that keeps on giving. I think this is the last bit I can rob, but I'm just going to cut this down to size, and then I can fit that in there, seal her up, and then we're jobs are good un. But yeah, I'll come back to you in 2 ticks. Morning all. Can't remember the day. I think Boxing Day was yesterday. Yeah, day after Boxing Day, 2 days after Christmas, 363 days until the next one. But I realise, excuse me, I have a bad chest again. I've jumped ahead without filming anything. I've done my usual. Yeah, so as a part of, you know, this was perhaps going to be a 2-part. I'll probably only get 1-parter out of it, but I don't know. Never mind. Typical British weather. The forecast, the Met Office. If you watch my videos, very doubt you do, so I'll call you what you like. You're fucking useless. All that money that gets invested in weather technology and that. Just look out the fucking window. You might get it right once in a while. So, we've got the skylight in. I say skylight, I mean a bit of plastic. So that's up there. The weather was meant to be dry today. It's not, it's pissing down with rain. So all I'm doing here is just having a quick bodge up. I had a bit of expanding foam, so I've just filled some of the concave, convex areas above the pond, just to try and stop some of them drafts coming in. Not completely, the place has got to breathe. Up here is just being bodged at the moment, just doing an undercut, and you've got to tidy that up. But yeah, the light was in, everything went to plan. I can't remember if I showed you that bit or not. If I didn't, there it is. What I've done is I've just CT1 the top, the bits I needed to on top, and then I've run some of the fiberglass paint. So this is just it's like a bituminous based paint, but without the bitumen. Insta Repair Flexacryl, that's it. Really good stuff. So although it works in the rain, it's preferred to put on in the dry. This is Britain, so that's not going to happen. But that's just gone up. So it'll be a case now of detecting any leaks. Hopefully there shouldn't be any. So while I'm in here just waiting, just giving another coat of paint to the top just to tidy it up. Was a bit mouldy from condensation last year, and then it's on to this junk and get everything cleared out. Got my mug of tea, thanks for the wife. Just a hat-filled mug there. And yeah, tidied that bit up, but yeah, it's not got to look, I'm polishing a turd really, it's not got to look fantastic in here. It's a bloody fry house at the end of the day. But alas, let's move on. Alright, we're back. So, now, just having a tidy up. Now it's time to get the work cup out. And get this, so this will go back in the garage. Tumble dryer is always handy, although you've got to be a rich man to use it these days. Fridge, I'll flog that. Anyone local, East Sussex, need a little fridge, let me know. And yeah, so it's nice being able to turn the light off. And it's still light in here. Incredible. What I do want to do, so this switches the light on. I don't know if you've seen one of these before, but yeah, just in case you haven't, these switch the light on. Sorry, talk about teaching you to suck eggs. Right, this is a single switch but controls both lights. So light in the garage, light in here. What I do want to do is I want to make that a double switch so then I can switch them on individually. And yes, it's just a case, it's trying to find, obviously build up crap. That's the problem with a room like this, it just harbours junk. So yeah, so what I want to do is get everything out. I can then clear the fake grass turf stuff back to where I need to. As I say, that lip there was the original pond that I bodged together. And then this panelling on the back, this treated panelling, that goes down as far as the height. So that's quite handy, and then the rest of it is insulated. So what I'll do is I'll obviously insulate all three walls, and the front I'll obviously insulate the rear of the panels. But I'm just trying to suss out really. Obviously I'd like a bottom drain, but it's housing fry. Even when I've reduced the height of the gap, or the width of the gap between the bottom drain and its bottom, if you like, that makes sense. Normally they say a finger's width, don't they? Depth. Even when I've reduced that in the past, I've found that the fish are still getting caught in it. So I'd rather go pump if I can, but I want to future-proof it to make sure if I do want to switch. It's either that or I just stick a retro red bottom drain in there. But we shall see. It's going to run off a 6,000 hours a pump anyway. So we're going to have plenty of beans. Yeah, and then after that, once everything's clear, I extended these electrics last time, obviously to house these. That can now come back. A switch unit for the fry tank will sit there. Pictures back on the wall. It's coming together slowly. It's one of them labour of love really. Being it's Christmas, it's lucky I'm off, but I've got other bits I want to get on with. I promised my little boy I'd take him golf today. So I certainly want to keep that promise, and then we've got horse riding as well. Yeah, one other thing. This is frosted glass at the moment. I did break the glass when I put it in. I got a bit angry with it trying to push it into the slot that I cut. But yeah, that'll be replaced with clear glass as well, so it will let a bit more light in. And on there we've got a small window on the door. I'm actually going to change this door round, and it'll have a whole glazed top half, so that's going to let in more light as well. This is cracker, this is. So I put this over the trunking, fixed it either side, tightened both sides, and it cracked the glass through the middle. What a plonker. I don't know. Right, I need to get on. You see I've got another cup of tea there. My wife, bless her heart, she's so understanding. I love you, dear. So that is everywhere cleared. Still chucking it down with rain. What's quite nice is there's a significant difference. So this foil, I don't know how, it's double back foil, just comes on a roll. They say it's the equivalent of 50ml of polystyrene. Oh, I'm gonna got myself, I don't know if you can see it, got myself a new splinter. I'll get that out in a minute. Yeah, I don't know what this stuff's like, but it certainly sees a big difference in wall temperature. I can tell you, my hands are special. Not only are they deadly weapons, they are temperature gauging devices. And that one's about 9.5 degrees. That one's about 14 degrees. 40 degrees, should I say? It's just 40 degrees, yeah, it's good stuff, good stuff. 40 degrees. But yeah, so the only problem is anything you work in a little room like this. So I mean, the fry tank's going to be approximately half of the room. You run out of space for storing stuff. So you just you take it from one place and drop it in another. But alas, we must continue. So I've cut the AstroTurf back, which is handy. Saved me cutting this bit. I'm going to get the lawnmower in here. It's annoying because there's such a bow on this wall. I don't know who built it. But it's only a single skim. There is such a bow. Never mind. So now I'm just going to remeasure. Obviously, because of that bow, I've taken a point measurement from the front, because before it was done with sleepers. I ended up losing 125mm around the edge the sleepers were. So this time it's just going to have a 50 by 50 frame around the edge because it can't go anywhere. And then the front will be 100mm timbers, and everything will be 18mm marine plied. And yeah, fine, like I say, insulate the sides, but get rid of that out of the way in a minute. Get rid of all this crap, and then I can start having a proper measure up. Surprised how high the tank's going to come, so I was thinking it'd be a case of adjusting that. So that one was loose, I just played around with that when I put the worktop in last time. But yeah, what surprised me is actually the height of it is up to this one, which that gives me a metre. And looking at it now, it seems like a hell of a lot. I am slightly higher stood here by probably what 40-50mm. But even then it's gonna come up to here. So I'll give you a pick of my old Christmas belly. Ho ho ho. So it's sort of, it's above waistline. It's belly button, inverted belly button height. It's nice to see it clear actually. Like I say, I've got plenty of this foil insulation. Get that on. Get this area tidied up, and then I can start building the framework. Move the electrics. I'm waiting on a connector actually, because I've got my electrics for my office come through here and simply plug in. So what I've got to do, IP68 connector, waterproof gel filled connector to come in, and that'll actually have to be built in, the connector into the walls of the pond, which is, I'm not fussed about. It's not going to be wet in there. It'll probably be the driest place there is, provided the pond don't leak. But it'll be gel filled anyway, and then I can get my electrics back to this point nice and high up. Yeah, all fun and games, isn't it? Eh? This koi hobby, huh? Nice and relaxing. But what I will say, I do miss it coming in here when the weather's chunder like it is outside at the moment. I keep pointing out there, I will show you that wall, that really badly matched brick wall. But yeah, you obviously can't see the weather, but it is naff today. It is naff. The sun's starting to come out, which is handy. Try and bring the temperatures up a bit. Yeah, I'll tell you what I've got to do actually. One of the subscribers commented last time, I'll have to check the name, but 100% right. I need to put some bolts or some washers, some thick washers. I don't need to put nuts at all. Bolts, I need to put nuts, sorry, to keep the actual pond guards off of the top of the copings, because it does get a bit of water build up, be it from condensation or from the rain on the other side where it dries in. But actually I might do that in a minute. So thank you for suggesting that. Absolutely bang on. I should have done that from the start, so thank you. That's why these videos are good. Sharing is caring, and information like that is very helpful. So wagwan. So we started putting a frame in, like. So you can see obviously on that back to get our pretty much a meter's depth, 0.95 depth. I had to remove the bottom panel. But what I am doing, I showed you earlier, this this wall is like a dog's hind leg. So I want to try and keep the pond as straight or square as possible, if you like. Although this, I mean, for all intents and purposes, this is a brick shit house, or was a brick shit house once upon a time. Never had a window or anything in it, had a wall. And then the waste was in that corner going off to a manhole. But yeah, so not much effort would have been put into it. So what I'm having to do is to make sure it stays square. What I don't want it doing is once it's installed, the water is pushing all the timber out. I'm just having to make sure, just with a bit of tulip wood, we're just going around and packing out and then fixing it to the wall. Most of the pressure is going to be this way, in terms of, with this, it's got the ply, it's got the 50mm stud. And sorry, I just got a message come through. And then I've got the 100mm block. Whereas at the front, obviously, all it's going to have is the ply. It will have 100mm timber on the front, though, I will say that. But it is based on gravity rather than being fixed or pushing against something. It's been raining all day. Doesn't seem to be wet in here. Paint's still wet, though. I remember from last time, it took so long to dry in here. What seems to happen is the biggest bit of condensation seems to build up in this corner, which is understandable. I'm roasting hot and it's freezing cold outside, but touch wood, there's no water coming back. So I think we're good to go. But yeah, I'm just going to carry on packing this out and we'll get the frame done. Right, so there we go for this week. You'll see more. What's today? Sunday. So I've split this into parts. Main reason for that is I do everything on my mobile, so trying to upload anything too long is an absolute ball ache. So yeah, so I'll upload this in a few parts, and you'll get to see the grow on or quarantine unravel and see how it goes. I'm stood next to it now. It's very nice. It looks very good. Very good, so it's worth watching. Don't forget the grow and show. So I think last time we looked, it's 50% sold, just over 50% sold out. And I think it's about 40% of deposits taken. So today's Sunday, I'm going to be sending them some emails out for confirmation with some receipts. And yeah, definitely get involved. I know times are hard, but for the price you get 2 cracking koi. And it should, he says, if everything goes to plan, be a fantastic day. So yes, I will catch you very soon. Best wishes. Again, Happy New Year. It looks like I'm cross-eyed because of the reflection. But yeah, I'll catch you on the next one. See you later.